A very good Monday morning to you, and I hope I find you very well indeed on what is a kind of Manchester day that can't make its mind up. It's gone from raining to very grey, gloomy skies to partially grey and blue sky as it is at the moment, so anything can happen later on. What I want to do today is talk about something which I think we all do, and if we don't all do it, quite a lot of us do it, and I know I fall into this trap. And that is purposefully or potentially unconsciously making yourself feel unfulfilled where a watch collector is concerned. So how do we do that? Well, how I do it, to be perfectly honest with you, it is twofold. One, which you are aware that I do, I go out and pick up the latest brochures from all our favourite manufacturers, which I can refer to when I'm in the market for a new watch. Now, secondly, I have a contact who is the daughter of my partner, who brings me magazines, certain magazines, very nice magazines, and the latest one to come my way is this, The Big Watch Book, printed by Esquire. It is the brand new one, issue number 1, and if you were to buy it, it would cost you 6 of your finest British pounds. So how does this tie into making yourself feel unfulfilled as a watch collector? Well, all you need to do to get into the grips of what I'm talking about is go out and get yourself something like this or any other fine watch magazine and sit with your favourite beverage and kind of start browsing through. So the very front page on this lovely, beautiful, glossy magazine is the brand new Omega Globemaster. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Wasn't too keen when it first came out, I have to say, but it has grown on me, and the reason it's grown on me, I think, is because in the back of my mind for quite a while, as all you guys know, I've been thinking about a dress watch. And the Globemaster kind of fits the bill. Although I'm not a fanboy of any particular make, I am fairly partial to the Omegas of this world, and this one kind of fits the bill in all respects. So we're going off the subject. So you start browsing through this with your favourite beverage, and no matter where you stop, you can close your eyes and flick through the pages, and all of a sudden we're on a big advert. Yes, for the watch collector's favourite right now, Tudor. On the back page, what we have here, let's have a look-see. We have a Patek Philippe. What's the reference? It is the reference 5170G. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Beautiful by compact there. Absolutely lovely. With obviously a very rich man with his very rich son. Talking about when his son can have his first Patek. Who knows? Let's have another flick through. Let's see what we can find. Yet another advert for Tudor. Tudor obviously chewing into the $10 million annual magazine advertising budget that the Rolex Group has to eat quite nicely every single year. What else have we got? Let's flick through here. Oh, now a slight deviation than normal here. As I'm of a certain age, I find that I am now ready to have my midlife crisis. It's not arrived yet, but, you know, it's kind of calling. And one of the things that's calling to me is one of those. Yes, the Cobra. With the beautiful 5.7 litre Chevy engine, no doubt, when I come along and ever decide to buy one because I've won the lottery, perhaps. Or maybe even buy myself a replica. So let's have another look through here. What have we got? Oh yes, here we go. There, Sid. All those beautiful things. Now, you're sitting there quite innocently with your cup of tea or coffee, or in my case, lemon tea, and you're looking through this innocently thinking, oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. And you suddenly realise that no matter that you might have one Omega in your collection, or a Rolex in your collection, or a Tudor in your collection, or whatever in your collection, you realise that there's a lot of stuff out there that's always going to be out of your reach. You know, I was just going to close this, and I didn't manage to close it, and it just flopped open at that. Now, you know, it doesn't matter what page you look at on these, you realise how much there is out there that you're never going to achieve, solely because either where you live you haven't got an AD, or you can't travel to a big city that has an AD, or you just not got the financial wherewithal to go out and purchase something like this, or you haven't got the credit worthiness, like a lot of people haven't these days because of what the banks did to us, to go out and buy something like this. So, you know, you're innocently flicking through this book as I am at the moment, and you're thinking, my goodness, there's a lot of stuff out there that I would love to buy, and you're feeling downtrodden and put out to the left side of the field where people can just look at you and scoff because they have something posh on their wrist. Now, recently I was on my holidays, and while I was on my holidays, as is my wont, I have a look in AD windows, and I was looking in the AD window for Patek, funnily enough, and none of them in the window had a price. So it was obviously the old adage that if you have to ask, you can't afford it, and so many of us can't afford the kind of luxury that we will find in a book like this. So what are we achieving when we flick through a book like this? Well, a kind of, oh, here's one for Simon Crane. Hang on. There you go, Simon. Look at that. Yes, indeed. What are we achieving? Well, kind of what we're achieving in a positive light, I guess, is that we are educating ourselves as to what is out there. What kind of things that money can buy if you have that kind of money, what you are able to purchase if you move within certain circles, for instance. On the other side of, on the dark side of that coin, is that you're realizing that you're never going to be in the upper echelons of watch collectors, because you're just not, because the phrase that we've just talked about, which is if you have to ask, you can't afford it, tends to apply in the upper echelons. If you know, if you can't look at being able to shell out in excess of 20 grand for a timepiece, you're never going to hit those dizzy heights of the high levels of timepieces in this world. So, with all the good grace in the world, where you might say to yourself, yes, I'm reading this kind of magazine to educate myself in what kind of things are available to us, the watch buying public. What you're actually doing, or what I find I actually do, is you are making yourself unworthy of being ever hopeful that you will be fulfilled as a watch collector. So I think where I'm coming from in this, and this kind of underpins my outlook on watch collecting, is I think as I said in one of my videos a long time ago now, that I didn't class myself as a watch collector. What I class myself as is somebody who has a number of watches because I like watches, and all of them are worn. What the phrase watch collector says to me is a little bit like the word stamp collector, as it were. You wouldn't ever get a stamp collector putting his, you know, £10,500 penny black on a letter and banging it in the Royal Mail, for instance. They're all kept in his stock books, and he looks at them and adores them whenever he buys a new stamp, but they are never used. So a watch collector for me is somebody who has a collection of high value, high prestige, high horological history timepieces that he keeps in a locked box, maybe not even in his home, in his bank or a secure location somewhere, and he just builds that collection as time goes along. And the cheapest watch he has, which is his Beta of course, which is his Rolex Subby. Oh yes, because that is the one that he can afford to get dinged, because the rest of his stuff is far too precious. So where we come into this, kind of the normal Joes on the street, as it were, and as you were, it took me a long time to save up for the Hulk. We are always looking at these with a little bit of dribble coming out of our mouths, thinking that's absolutely wonderful, but coming away with self-imposed, unfulfilled feelings of envy and the need to get into that upper echelon where we actually know we're never ever going to achieve it. Not because we're not particularly worthy, it's just that we're never going to be in that financial market to buy that kind of watch, unless of course we're very, very lucky and we win the lottery, or we inherit a lot of money. And I know in my case there is nobody out there in my family who has a lot of money. So unfulfilled, self-imposed unfulfilledness of being a watch collector. It is something we all do. It's something I do. I will stand here, sit here, guilty, holding my new issue, flicking through it, enjoying all the glossy pictures of your Bell & Ross and your Hublot and your PP and your AP and everything else that we can possibly buy, knowing full well that I'm going to remain unfulfilled for the rest of my life. Let me know if you ever get magazines like this, or you buy, I think it's called Watch Time, isn't it? Something like that, because they've just released their Basel World 2016 catalogue. Let me know whether you do this and you sit there like me with your favourite beverage with a little bit of dribble coming out of your mouth thinking, oh, if only the day could come, and you're feeling so unfulfilled it's untrue. So that's it for this one. Self-imposed, the unfulfilled nature of a watch collector. Whilst we're talking about Basel World, I have still had no response from Basel World organisers regarding next year. So I'm going to keep on the backs. Can you let me know if you are still seriously interested in organising something? And can you let me know if you are interested in getting involved organising something, if I can get a reply from the organisers? I think the stumbling block for all of us is going to be the price of the accommodation. Please bear that in mind. So I think as far as Basel World is concerned, yes, it's there. It's still on the burner. Feedback to me whether you're still interested and whether you think seriously you can do it. A little bit of a watch check. Not done a watch check for a couple of days. Still sporting Guido's Longines. It's looking very, very good. I'm enjoying wearing it immensely, I have to say. It's had its first weekend out in Manchester, hence why I've not made videos. So the review of this will be coming up in the next fortnight or so. I also had a note from Parcel Force. There you go. This was to tell me that they have received a parcel from the United States of America. And of course, the parcel is indeed my Bulliver Aqua Swiss Gemini. And to give you an idea of what it will cost you to bring a watch into the UK, I've had to pay far less than I thought I was going to have to pay, £26.77 in customs duty for coming into the UK. So my Bulliver, a watch which is on sale here in Britain, it varies slightly, but anywhere from £600 to £1,200, has cost me less than £500, so below my target of my purchase price that I wanted to pay. Now, apparently, according to this, this will be delivered tomorrow. So it looks like I'm going to be stuck in all day tomorrow, waiting for a courier to buzz my buzzer on my front door to allow me to get my new watch. So I will report back on that. So that's it for this one, people. Let me know whether you have your self-imposed feelings of being unfulfilled where your watch collection is concerned. Thank you very much for the new subscribers I've had over the last few days. I think I've got back to you all. If I haven't, give me a nudge and I will send you out my little notette of welcome. Queries, questions, suggestions for this kind of nonsense down below as always. Your feelings on whether we should all stop reading these posh glossy magazines which tell us of all the things that we can't afford, down below as always. So as always, if it's your first time here and you're enjoying this kind of nonsense, I think it's down here. Press the little button that's down there to subscribe. If you're wondering whether it's only watches I do, well, it isn't. I do all sorts of things. Have a look in the back catalogue and I'm sure you'll find something there that will be of interest. So for now, thanks a lot for watching and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.